the future, what the future holds. I'm going to give you a look at what is happening in 12 months' time, what the senior leaders are forecasting for 12 months' time, for 36 months' time. As James said, my name is Morris Zickman. My initials are MZ. I am the VP for TP ANZ. As Luke said, buckle up. I've got a presentation full of acronyms and abbreviations. No, I don't. We know that AI is impacting us all. It's impacted TP. For those of you that don't know TP, last year we rebranded from Teleperformance to TP to reflect our transformation from just from what you would know as a traditional BPO to an organisation that invested heavily in AI. And today we deliver human and AI empowered customer experiences. So I'm going to draw upon some of our global insights where it's relevant. When I say global insights, we've got operations in 100 countries around the world. We employ just under 500,000 people. So I'm fortunate enough to have a lot of those insights that I will bring to what is relevant here. What I will tell you first and foremost is that here in Australia, we are laggards. We're all talking about AI, but our strategies around AI are, for lack of a better term, quite poor. Our adoption of AI is incredibly limited. So I'm going to talk about that as well. So in terms of the future of AI and what it's going to do for us here in Australia, we've all seen these headlines, have we not? PwC? Still in the room? You got a bit to answer for here. Tracy, where are you? You guys got a bit to answer for. Sorry to call you out, by the way. No, I'm not. So what does this mean? End of the presentation, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. If you'd all like to follow me to the bar, let's go grab a drink and let's form an orderly queue at Centrelink because we no longer have a job, if you believe the headlines. However, when I was putting this presentation together, what I did work out is that the term clickbait is something that only just came out, but journalists did a great job of creating these fantastic headlines. The faithful donkey is passing. People were lamenting the fact that donkeys were being replaced by cars. This is 1925. In 1928, this is 3 years later. 3 years later, they were lamenting machines taking humans' jobs. Does that sound familiar to today? And across the ditch, across the Atlantic, in the UK, they were debating in universities whether Frankenstein is going to rise up and overtake its maker. Right? So we've got to remember that whilst all the focus is on AI, there are people that are deeply concerned by the impact of AI. All right, so what does this mean for us? So let's look at what this means in terms of the next 12 months in terms of the headcount. 38% of leaders are expecting headcount to increase. So whilst we're all talking about these great things that what AI is going to do and all these jobs that it's going to replace, there's still 38% forecasting a growth in headcount. 29% are expecting no change at all. 34% are expecting a decrease. So there's people on both sides of the fence. Last year, 41% of leaders were expecting a decrease and only 35% were expecting an increase. So what we're seeing is a tempering of what the impact of AI will be. And why is that? Well, think back to 12 months ago. All of us were going through these fantastic demos of AI. Remember that? People coming in and doing these whiz-bang demos. You're going, this is fantastic. This is going to remove all these boring jobs and we're going to give really exciting things to our agents to work on. Then you moved into production. It didn't quite work as well as the flashy presentation, did it? Right? So that tempered the views of senior leaders in terms of what is exactly going to be the impact of AI. So we've moved from the hype into the reality. Let's fast forward into 36 months' time. Very different story here. I think I might call the presentation here 49% decrease. Done. Let's go. Let's grab that drink. Only half of us are going to be around, if you believe the headline. Again, 12 months ago, they were forecasting that number was going to drop down to 56%. There was going to be 56% reduction. So they're starting to temper their views. Last year, 7% said there'll be no change. This year, 17% are saying, look, there's going to be no impact in 3 years' time of AI. 34%, one-third are still expecting that there will be an increase in volume. So as we move from the hype to reality, we are now understanding that deploying AI isn't as easy as just clicking your fingers. Data layers here in Australia are horrendously poor. While CEOs are running out there going to conferences and seeing these beautiful AI implementations, when they come back in and say, can you go and build something for me, we're realising our data is unstructured in so many different locations, and it's having a tremendous impact in terms of what we can do with AI. However, we do know that AI can certainly automate a lot of the level 1 type roles, and it's going to automate a lot of those processes. It's going to optimise our self-serve channels. And eventually we're going to think about, well, what does this mean for our agents into the future? So what is declining in value? What's declining in value on the left-hand side here is what we've traditionally hired for in contact centres. We want people that are process-orientated, that can type very efficiently, very quickly and accurately, and they can remember policies or look those up very quickly. That's what AI is going to solve. On the right-hand side here is what is rising in value. This is what customers want when they've been working with AI and it hasn't been able to resolve it for them. They want to connect with a human, a real human, a human that is going to use this to listen to what is my problem, because it's probably going to be a complex problem, and then use this to genuinely empathise around what it is that you are experiencing. Then that human needs to be empowered by AI to find the best possible solution, and this is the bit that's going to challenge us the most. They need very deep problem-solving skills to think about how they're going to resolve this, not just necessarily from a knowledge base, but think about what is the right outcome for this particular customer here. So it's fundamentally going to challenge the way that we recruit, the way that we measure, the processes, and the setup of our contact centre. The number one metric into the future is going to be what? Anyone game enough to call it out? FCR. AHT, throw it out. That's no longer going to be a metric that's going to be required. What will be equally important is measuring CSAT. Nadine and I have spoken about the other metric there, and we are aligned on that one, by the way. But what's going to be important is measuring CSAT and looking at your data analytics. Why? Because you need real-time feedback on how well your AI strategy is working. Is it frustrating customers? Does it need calibration? You're going to need to get feedback from the agent to be able to do some QA on the AI advice. The agent profile is going to change. I was working with a financial institution, and they came to the realization when we looked at what impact AI is going to have on their processes and what will be left behind is a very experienced banker needs to work in a contact center. Anyone tried to get an experienced banker to work in a contact center? 3-piece suit, tie, coming to work in a contact center? Ain't going to happen, is it? Right? So that's going to fundamentally change the profile of the agent, the remuneration, and the way that that person is going to be rewarded and measured. So we're going to get rid of some roles, but other roles are going to open up. So we know that AI is going to work on resolving the simplex. Anything that is mundane is going to be automated. What's going to be left behind is a genuine human-to-human connection. We're going to have an opportunity to use AI in a way that we've never used it before. Contact centres forever and a day have been set up as a reactive mechanism. You've got fantastic workforce planners, managers here that do a great job. Don't worry, you're still going to be needed. You're still going to have a role in the future. But you're studying reactive data. You're looking at interval patterns, historical arrival patterns, and so forth. You're taking into account absenteeism, attrition data to work out who needs to be where, on what queue, at what time. AI is going to flip that on its head. AI is going to enable you to be a proactive care centre. AI is going to be analysing every single customer account for any anomalies in terms of billing, invoicing, delays in deliveries, if you've got a line upgrade, anything that could potentially drive failure demand. AI is going to have enough data on your customer base that it will know what channel, at what time to contact you to proactively let you know that there is a failure demand. That's the opportunity of AI, which is very different to the cost efficiency perspective that we're looking at AI. 100 years ago, roles were being replaced by machines. Manual labour was no longer required, or much less required. New roles were opening up. Office managers, lawyers, and so forth were opening up. Fast forward to 100 to today, new roles are opening up. But remember, in 1925 that started. In 1928 they were still grappling with it. Your job as leaders here is to help manage your people through it. So there's going to be new roles opening up. So we're going to have AI trainers. We're going to have QA. So we're all talking about automated QA. We're actually going to move more to human-based QA into the future. Humans are going to be auditing AI to make sure that they're giving the correct outcomes. Anyone heard of Air Canada's disaster with an AI-enabled bot? Gave the wrong advice and they had to compensate accordingly. Air Canada fought that very hard. We're going to have a number of new roles opening up. In the Philippines, we employ 60,000 people. Today, 15% of that workforce are working on data annotation and data labeling services to structure your data so that AI can work effectively. That was like 2% 12 months ago. So what does this mean in terms of the 3-year investment priorities? Look, we know that AI has a great impact on cost efficiency, right? We can automate a process, we can reduce the AHT, we can move volumes over to AI-enabled self-serve channels. Great, fantastic. But it's a blinkered view of what AI can do. Second thing that AI can do is deliver hyper-personalisation, something that we've spoken about as a concept but struggled to deliver on. Hyper-personalisation used to be, I get someone's name right. My name is Morris, I'm frequently called Maurice. I hate it. So that's a great way of actually endearing yourself to a customer by getting their name wrong, right? And then once I explain why it is and I'm contacting them, they'll say, just give me a moment, Maurice, I'm going to put you on hold so I can look up your case notes. That gives me enough time to actually hate that brand even more, okay? Hyper-personalisation will not just get my name right, but it's actually going to know why I'm calling, what channel I was on, and what experience I had before I got there. Hyper-personalisation means, hey, I know that we got your name wrong, and I know that really annoyed you, Mr. Zickman. I'm going to endeavour to get that right this time. And the third thing is revenue generation. Any tech support people in the room? Anyone too scared to put their thank you very much. Anyone too scared to put your arms up? Yep, you are too scared. Tech support people, how many of your tech support people will sell if you ask them to sell? Thank you. Okay, but that's typically what tech support says. No, we don't do sales at all, right? We do not sell. Wrong. AI is going to have every single queue selling. And tech support is going to be one of the most successful ones at it because you're resolving a customer complaint. It's normally a query. It's complex. And say, I see you've got 4 people in your home. You're on 100 megabits per second plan, paying $64.99 per month. I can put you onto a 500 for just $5 extra. And you won't have to contact me again because you're going to have plenty of data, right? So there's that opportunity. So finally, the contact centre gets to become a profit centre, something that's spoken about as a concept for a long time. So what does this mean for outsourcing? Well, outsourcers traditionally have been an extension of your particular business. Level 1, level 1.5, maybe level 2, and many senior leaders are seeing that that's not really required into the future. So not surprising, only 23% said they're actively looking at outsourcing. Come and join me, I'm going to be having a number of beers at the bar. And that's a very valid point. And the reason being is you're no longer looking for a BPO partner. You're looking for somebody that can actually bring some insights, some war stories around the implementations of AI to inform your strategy around AI rather than just waiting to be a reactive partner to AI. So how can TP help? AI is not easy, as I spoke about. It's very complex. In 2025, we invested $500 million in AI projects. That's $500 million if you say it quickly, not much money. We implemented 500 AI projects. That is 10 a week, that's 2 every single workday, completed, implemented successfully. I have a lot of colleagues that have significant scars that they can talk about each and every one of those projects. So again, I have the privilege of drawing upon a lot of those resources to determine what is the best AI implementation strategy, what are the parameters that you need to work within, and how do we make this work within your current culture, your current tech stack, your current systems, your current processes. So we can bring a lot of that outside in thinking. We are not vendors of technology. We do have our own AI architecture. We've built a number of AI assist tools for our agents. We've built an AI-enabled human-in-a-loop collections solution that monitors all of the accounts and puts proactive contacts out to customers so that we can catch them at a first stage before it gets to a late stage. And the moment there's any emotion detected in that, or there's keywords like hardship, domestic violence, whatever it may be, a human is automatically brought into the loop with full context. And the last one that I'm most excited about is the growth engine. So that tech support piece that I spoke about, we've built a whole solution around that to provide every single agent with the most appropriate next best action, next best offer at the right time to bring that up. So the report, 3 key findings. So volumes are going to increase, volumes are going to decrease. I was just making sure you're listening. Volumes are decreasing, complexity is going up. I've got your attention. The future agent is actually more human than ever before. They're going to need strong empathy, strong problem-solving skills. Their profile is going to change dramatically. Their wages profile is going to change dramatically as well. Contact center wages and contact center reward wages are not going to cut it anymore. But the ones that are going to win the AI strategy are not the ones that are focusing on just AI. They're the ones that are investing hard in their people. Emotional intelligence is going to be critical into the new contact center. But, and there's always a but, the bottom left-hand side, it's a very busy graph there. The bottom left-hand side, you can see there is Australia. Australia is lagging the world in terms of, as I started with, its AI strategies and its AI adoption. Why? Well, one very simple reason is we are a nation full of cynics. Do you trust AI? Personally, do you trust AI? You do? 75% of your customers said AI frustrates them. 81% say it's there to save you money. 83% of C-level said, I'm delighted that it's going to save me money. So C-level want to implement it. Customers know that it's there to save you. They don't trust AI. You're cynics, I'm a cynic, we're all customers. We don't trust AI. The challenge there is we're looking at it from an efficiency standpoint, and a chief AI officer is very much responsible for that. They're running around the business going, I'm going to implement this, I'm going to save you 7% efficiency on this LOB, 10% efficiency on that LOB. They report back to the CEO, they look like a hero. But they're looking at it from a microscopic blinkered vision perspective. Marketing have been set up to build loyalty campaigns so they can extract as much data out of your consumer base as possible, so you can market to them, cross-sell, upsell. Then when you contact that brand, they can identify you in the IVR and they can put the high-value customers through to the best queue, the best agents with the lowest hold times. AI is going to flip that model. Every single customer is going to have A1 customer experience. Let me give you an example. I'm booking a flight on an airline company that I've never booked with before. It's an example. This is not real because no one's actually done it yet. But this is possible. I go to book it. I can't get through the full booking because I couldn't pick the seat that I wanted because I wanted exorbitant fees. The website said a different fee, etc. I've got to call the contact center. I didn't want to have to do it, but it forced me to do it. I reach at the contact centre. Hi, Morris. We are so excited to see you coming to fly with us for your very first time. I see that you've been on our website. You've been grappling with trying to book a seat. Is that what you'd like some help with today? Yeah, I would. It was really frustrating. I shouldn't have had to call you. And you're right. You shouldn't have to. But I'm going to fix that for you right here, right now. Is there anything else I need to fix for you? No. As the agent books my seat, AI looks it up, can hear the frustration and goes, offer Morris a lounge pass. Complimentary lounge pass. I'm flying at a non-peak time. What does it cost that airline? 0. Oh, and Morris, what we'd like to offer you is complimentary lounge pass at either end of your destination. Wow. What a completely different experience. What does it cost that airline? Nothing. For me to go to a lounge when at 0 peak time, costs them nothing. What does it do for me? Builds brand loyalty. Brand loyalty is incredibly important because we know that builds customer lifetime value. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Morris. Couple of questions. If AI automates an entry-level job, where do leaders consider the new entry-level jobs will be?
The new entry-level job hasn't been 100% defined, and there's been a lot of talk around what does that mean, because it's going to be a far more complex role. So it's not actually an entry-level role.
And you touched on this several times. I want to ask the question anyway. Why is it that Australia lacks the skills to advance with AI compared to India, China, and the rest? Apart from our scepticism.
Yes, apart from our scepticism and the strategies from the Chief AI Officer is, if you look at India and China in particular, they have their own platforms and their data is incredibly structured. But those two countries in particular are early adopters of AI. The way that they embrace AI into their world every single day dwarfs the way that we are. So their trust levels with it is incredibly higher than ours.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, please thank Morris from TP.